Welcome back to the Doctor Who collection. Today we're going to continue with the second Doctor. And we start with the series itself. We have the DVD release of The Power of the Daleks, the original one from 2016. This is the slipcover, as you can see. The Daleks, like that. Good story, but I would really want this one to be found. I know that's unlikely, but you can always hope. And we also have the re-release from 2020. Then we move on to the special edition or re-release of The Underwater Menace. This one with the animation of the 2 missing episodes. And they also animated the rest of the story. A bit of damage there on the slipcase. We have the moon base. The Macra Terror. Which is a story I do really like, but some of the interpretations in this story actually cut out some things, which I understand, but you're like, I don't really like that. The Faceless Ones, which I would say is an underrated story. I think this one is really good as well. But yeah, Ben and Polly's departure is rather lackluster. The Evil of the Daleks, great story, fantastic. The original DVD of The Tomb of the Cybermen, this is what it looks like. The Abominable Snowman, Abominable, yeah, I think that's how you say it. The Ice Warriors. The Enemy of the World. This is the original release of it. I don't have the re-release. Yeah. That's what it looks like. The original release of The Web of Fear, which has a reconstructed episode 3. And the 2021 re-release, which animated episode 3. I really like this cover art, really. I think this one is really cool. I would like a clean version of this and put it up as like an art print. That would be really nice. And then we have Fury from the Deep. Victoria's final story there. Then we have the Dominators. The Mind Robber. The Invasion. Yeah, with the 2 missing episodes animated there. The Crotons. The original Seeds of Death. Yeah, very battered copy. This one, not the S, but the discs are this just keeps falling out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to replace that. The War Games. And the War Games in color, which, yeah, I have mixed feelings about this one, because it does do some cool things. Like, it does cut out a lot of the War Games, which is a bit draggy in some places, and it does do some cool things. But making the War Chief, essentially confirming him to be the Master, is a bit strange. And it also shows a regeneration scene from the second Doctor. And now we move on with audios. We have an audiobook of The Wheel in Space. The Shadow of Death, which is the And Second Doctor one for the 50th anniversary back in 2013. We have Fear of the Daleks, the first Second Doctor Companion Chronicle. There we are. Helicon Prime. Great Space Elevator. Which seems like a... I haven't listened to this one, so I can't really say it, but the Great Glass Elevator is the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? So I guess this is a reference to that. Then we have Resistance from Series 3. The Glorious Revolution from Series 4. Forbidden Time. Then we have some of the early adventures. We have the Home Guard there. And this one, Daughter of the Gods, which is technically a multi-Doctor story, but it's mostly a Second Doctor one. Yeah, it's a 5th anniversary story. What it could have been like if they had actually made one in 1968. We have the Second Doctor Volume 1. I don't know why that was there, because there's a companion chronicle, but there we go. Wreck of the World. Oh, these are not in order, are they? I'll have to look at that later. The Rose Mariners. And finally, Lords of the Red Planet, which is a origin of the Ice Warriors, showing how the Martians became the Ice Warriors. And now we move on to the books. First we have the Power of the Daleks novelization. And this is a great novelization. This is really good. If you can find this, buy it, read it. It's very, very good. Then we have the Highlanders. Introduces Jamie. This is what it looks like. The Underwater Menace in fairly good condition. I'm actually also currently bidding on a hardback of this one on eBay, so we'll see if I get that. The 80s reprint of the Cybermen, which is the Moon Base. The Macra Terror, the novelization. Again, novelization, very, very good. I like this one a lot. Sorry. The Faceless Ones, which does have one of my favorite cover with the TARDIS partially materializing or dematerializing just as the airplane comes. The original printing of the Evil of the Daleks. And yes, this one isn't in the best of condition, but it is quite hard to find. And that one was novelized by John Peel. And then there's this. This is the recent re-novelization, or whatever you should call it, of Evil of the Daleks by Fraser Hines. And this is a paperback that was released with the Doctor Who magazine. So yeah, there we go. We have Tomb of the Cybermen. The Abominable Snowman again. We have 2 copies of the Ice Warriors, the 1st edition and the 3rd edition. Did I say the Snowman? I meant the Ice Warriors. The Enemy of the World. Quite thin, this one. An original printing of The Web of Fear. The purple spine there. Not in the best condition, but still pretty cool. Fury from the Deep. And then we have this one, The Wheel in Space, the original one. Yeah, this is known to be very hard to find. Yeah, this one is in very good condition. Great to have it. But if you have a hard time finding it, you might be able to find Doctor Who magazine, which reprinted it in this new Target style like they did with the Evil of the Daleks. So yeah, there's that one. Then we have the Dominators and the Virgin reprint of the Dominators. And we only have a Virgin reprint of the Mind Robber, not the original one. So yeah. The Mind Robber, strange story to novelize because of how visual and yeah, strong it is. I'm not sure how that would work as a book. I haven't read it, so I can't say anything about it. Maybe it works really well, I don't know. Then we have The Invasion. This is one of those that has a cover like taped to it. Not taped to it, but like a protection over it, which is a shame because I don't really like how it looks, but there we go. The Croton, same with this one, is also taped. I think it was from the same seller, so... The Seeds of Death. This one was also quite hard to find, actually. I guess because it is a slightly later one, I'm not sure. Then the Space Pirates, again, a bit more difficult to find. The spine doesn't show up really well there, but there you go. And finally, the War Games, which is very short for a 10-part story. But yeah, there we go. Now we move on to hardbacks. I don't really have many, but we have a hardback of the Highlanders here. This is an ex-library book, as you can see by the stamps here. Yeah, but in decent condition nevertheless. It's a bit... the spine is a little bit wobbly, like it's been pushed down, so yeah. But yeah, still totally fine. And then we have the one I talked about earlier, the new novelization of The Evil of the Daleks by Fraser Hines here. Yeah, with the help of Tucker and Steve Cole. And it cost £22. That's very kind of expensive, that is. I'll see here. 2023, yeah, makes sense. Now we move on to original fiction. First, we have the Virgin Missing Adventures with The Menagerie by Martin Day. I haven't read this one, but I've heard that it's quite a dark one, so that's really interesting. Then we have Invasion of the Cat People. I have read this one, and I have mixed feelings about this. The characterization and the stuff with the Doctor and Ben and Polly is really good, and I find the Cat People, as someone who loves cats really like a fun addition, but the story itself wasn't that interesting, but okay, I would say. And we have Twilight of the Gods, a rather battered copy of Twilight of the Gods, which is a sequel to The Web Planet. And then we have one of the rarer ones. Here we go. The Dark Path. Yeah. This one is quite hard to find, as you might expect. And it features the Master before he became the Master. So that's also an interesting... And let's move on to the BBC books. We have The Murder Game. I haven't read this one, but I've heard it's supposed to be really great. But I'm confused by this photo here, because this is Salamander, not the Doctor. But okay. The Roundheads, the original one, by Mark Gatiss. Dreams of Empire, the original one. The Final Sanction, Steve Lyons. Dying in the Sun, Again, this is one of those that is in this really interesting placement between the Power of the Daleks and the Highlanders. So it doesn't feature Jamie. The companions here are Ben and Polly only, which is an interesting issue, because when you think Second Doctor era, you think Jamie, but no, he isn't in here. Then we have Combat Rock, which kind of scares me because I've looked through it a little bit, and there are some things here which, yeah. The Colony of Lies, which I think is technically a multi-Doctor story. Yeah, 7th Doctor and Ace, but the 7th Doctor barely appears in it. Then we have the rarest one, The Indestructible Man. And the best part is this was one that's actually signed. I'm not sure whose signature this is, but yeah, it's signed there. And finally, for the BBC Books World Game, the Doctor dressed up as Napoleon there. Slightly older Second Doctor there. And now we move on to other books. I'm not sure how to classify these, but we have The Complete History, Volume 11. The Complete History, Volume 12. As you can see there. The Complete History, Volume 13. The Complete History, Volume 14, which is the final one for the Second Doctor. I think I'm only missing one of his. And then we have two Telos Novellas Deluxe. Foreign Devils by Andrew Cartmel, and this is the deluxe one. As you can see, number 137 out of 800. Pretty cool. And the second one, Wonderland, much thinner. But yeah, this is also the limited edition one, number 220 out of 800. And I haven't read this one myself, but I have heard that this is like a Doctor Light story, so that's an interesting one. And we have the script book for The Power of the Daleks, which, yeah, is exactly what you think. It's the script of The Power of the Daleks, with that rather miscolored spine there, but that's fine. And we have this, I'm not sure where to put this otherwise, but this is File Spotlight on Patrick Troughton by John Peel. Yeah, this was made in 1986, and apparently I have read this one. Apparently John Peel started working on this, and then Troughton died, so this became like a tribute to him rather than a spotlight, which is really sad, but there you go. And then we have two annuals. We have this one. Scheiße. The Doctor Who annual. I mean, this one is really big. But yeah, the annual. You see the back side there with Ben and Polly, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, whoever's owned this before has made their own addition to it. But yeah, it is what it is. Huh. But yeah, the book is complete anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but it is a shame that someone has drawn in it. But I actually knew about that. And then we have this one. 1969 annual. Great concept art in this one. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. Some really cool art as well. Nice. Good story, good thing, this. Yeah, that was the Second Doctor collection. Next one is obviously going to be Doctor number 3, so see you then.